What up, dudes, dudettes, fighter type people? This is Ringo doing another review of Cat versus Davis. This is a night fight. We're on round 5. This should be the last of this project, so let's get to it. As we've been watching, we've been seeing one thing pretty consistently, which is Davis comes out aggressive, takes the center, which we see again. Then Cat is the one from defensive postures, laying in strikes and sort of controlling the grapple. We're going to see more of that. We're going to basically, they're both exhausted here, so form's starting to fall apart. There's nothing absolutely new in this. Everything stuff we've seen before. Let's take a look at this exchange. We see them both come in. They're both sloppy as fuck. Davis basically doesn't engage his hips at all. You can see a little bit of hip movement, but that's due to him stepping forward. Cat's a little better, but watch him fall back trying to avoid the shot and just pulls everything off of it. There's nothing on either of these. These guys are exhausted after 5 rounds of fighting. So what we're seeing here, this is actually kind of new, is Cat's finally starting to circle out, finally starting to move. You notice when he starts to get out here, he circles out to the shield side and then keeps backing out. Now, again, if he had circled shield side again, he'd be free, but because he doesn't, instead comes back this way, where the rail is holding him, he ends up having to take whatever Davis wants to throw at him, which actually works out, because as you can see, Cat's still controlling the grapple when it comes in, and from this kind of clinch point, you can see he's doing the sticky hands we talked about earlier. Cat and Davis are holding each other right here. Not really sure who's holding who, but the point is it's opened Davis up. It's also opened Cat up. You can see with his shield up tall, you can see it's a little bit over here. Davis could be throwing shots this whole time as he's backing up. He doesn't. He just kind of stands there and then leaves this opening. Cat gets a big punch, kind of rocks him, and we're back into the fight. Cat starts backing away. We're going to see that push again, right? So as Davis tries to pick up speed here, Cat sets himself with this heavy back foot, drops his weight down, and he's trying to drive through Davis. Davis, of course, has already gone through that once and is a little hesitant on his entrances because in the early 2 rounds, when he entered quickly, Cat grabbed him and turned his momentum against him, just throwing him. So as you can see, Davis from here takes a step to the left and pulls away from that push. Ends up not really doing anything, right? That needs to be set up so that they're running into you. When you hit them, they're completely not ready for it. I think maybe if Cat were to do that while he's backing up quicker, so on the run, right? So if we come back, we can take a look. He's kind of walking to get away. If this were sort of a quick step back up, you might see a little more from it, but as Davis would try to run to catch up. Another exchange, nothing really on it. That time he doesn't even set, he just pushes him. With this grapple, you can see there's no one's really doing anything. Cat's not actually working, he's just holding. Davis is just hugging. No one's got anything going on here, they're too exhausted. Now, when Cat takes this step out right here, so if we come back, right, we can see he's going to move this foot out, and that's opened himself up. Now, it looks like what's happening is he's actually pulling Davis back into the corner, where he's just going to sit and hold him while he's tired. Now, it's a decent sort of clinch maneuver, kind of like in boxing when you hold the guy because you don't want to get hit or you're tired, but Cat's up in points and everything, and honestly, he's probably fitter than Davis right now, as exhausted as he is. I feel like when he takes that step out, right here, you can see it's rotated Davis's hips. Instead of stepping straight back, yank him down the way we've seen earlier, pull him over the rail, and then from there, maybe try to work a throw. Or work this leg right here that he's beat the shit out of, right? With that step and turn, he's thrown Davis's hips off. I'd have liked to see him do more with it, but instead, he sort of pulls Davis. Davis, it looks like, kind of drags him into the corner and pushes him into the corner as he's being dragged, and is perfectly willing to stand there. Again, they're just kind of not really doing much. This is nice work on Davis's part. Gets his axe free. Oh, we can't see it yet. So he gets his axe free, and he's holding Cat's axe with his left arm. Those couple shots to the ass. After Cat drags him out, he locks it down, and so this is a key thing that you're going to want to do when you're in tight grappling with weapons, is you sort of wrap their weapon arm. That stops them from being able to throw, and if they're not doing the same, you get to throw back. So that's a little bit better than sticky hands. Alright, and that's the fight. Again, you see Cat throwing on the exit. Boom. Right, last shot. Right there. Make sure you're doing that. That throw as you leave is, even when you're super tired, and it's so sort of like that, almost disrespectful. Just get out of here. That sort of lazy throw, whatever it is, still scores a lot of the time, and it makes them think before they enter. It basically gives you a free exit. If you played D&D, you know about attacks of opportunity when you move away from squares. Sometimes in certain editions, in certain games, they have attacks of opportunity when you move into threat of range. This is a real thing. That's a real concept. They talk about it in certain manuals, and they talk about it in boxing, in MMA. That transition, as you move out of range into range, that is where you get hit. When you move in range to out of range, that's where you get hit. That spot is the danger spot as you're transitioning into different ranges. When you see fighters, if you've watched MMA, especially the early days of it, when people didn't really know what they're doing, and people would shoot in before they really knew how to do it, they just would catch knees and catch fists as they went for the shot, as they tried to grapple, and just get knocked the fuck out. Because they didn't know how to close. And that's huge, right? When you enter with a shot. You enter with something to throw them off, to make them think, to work on your tempo. When you're leaving, it's the same thing, right? If someone is entering or leaving, they're not throwing at you, you have the opportunity to hit them at will. And if you are entering or leaving without throwing, they have that opportunity on you. So when you do it, you need to make sure you throw. And vice versa, if someone's entering on you or someone's trying to get away, take advantage of that. While they move, throw. Their guard is going to be off. Alright, so I've talked for a while without any video happening. That's probably super boring, so I'm going to sign off.